Please bring in Taylor Shire now. We're going to get a CFL update from him, maybe, well, I know a hockey update. But hey, Taylor, on the NFL kickoff day, here's one question I don't believe I've ever asked you. Who's your NFL team? You got to have one.
You know what, Rod? I cheer for my fantasy football team. I've never really been inclined to cheer for any team. I went to a Minnesota Vikings game when I was a kid. I like to watch whatever matchup it's on. I actually don't have a team, so I'll usually flip through channels on Sunday and pick the best matchup.
Okay, that's fine. There's no wrong answer to this, but just a bit of a surprising answer. I'll be honest with you. Maybe you don't have time. You're busy covering the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Canadian Football League for the Leader Post. Give me the Rider update this week as they look to snap a 6-game winless slide in the Banjo Bowl.
Yeah, that's a short week for them. The Riders did practice lightly on Tuesday, and they're back at a close practice today. And of course, there's some changes coming to the offensive line. Peter Goddard, center, was also injured in the Labor Day game, so Logan Ferland is going to make his second career start at center. And Nick Jones is going to come back, and then Noah Zur, Langenburg, Saskatchewan's finest, is going to make his first career start on the other side at guard. So lots of changes to the offensive line. It doesn't look like Dante Myers available this week, so another lost on the injuries. You know, they're going to have to keep rolling with it and try to get out. Things are being covered for. How do you stop the losses from piling up, week after week after week? It's been, I guess there's a tie in there, but it's been 6 in a row without a victory. They haven't won since July 19th. So it's kind of feeling like it's the same sort of routine of a few guys, next man up, try to get out of it.
So again, with all these changes on the offensive line, it doesn't take Einstein to realize this is not ideal to have all these changes going into week 14. What is the mood around the team, Taylor? A team that started 4-0 and now in a lot of trouble heading down the home stretch.
And honestly, we ask that question every week, how's the mood? And they keep saying they're not pointing fingers. They're just getting back to work, putting their head down and getting back to work. There's still belief in the locker room. And that is the crazy part. Despite not winning in 6 games, they're still in contention. Nobody else in the West Division has really taken over this thing. I mean, BC's obviously playing, looking like they're trending upwards. Winnipeg is as well. Edmonton is as well. So if the Riders don't figure it out in the next few weeks, they're going to be behind right now, but that's sort of the belief right now, is that they're not behind. They're still in contention to finish. They could finish atop the West realistically if they start figuring this out. If they don't, they could be out of the playoffs, in no time.
Question: could you pinpoint where things have gone wrong for this team?
You know what? No, I can't. But when you look at each game, you can. It's just honestly a few plays here and there each game is costing them. And you're not going to win every game, and you're not going to go through every game. And then some of the ones where they won, maybe they, if it goes the other way, they lose. But this team is better than last year's team that was winless in their last 7, even the year before winless in their last 7. So this 6-game skid is surprising to me because they have been there. I mean, if Mario Alford doesn't fumble that ball, so it's that one play, and it would have been a totally different game, right? Even the Rouge that they gave up on the kickoff, right? If that isn't conceded, the game probably goes to overtime. And there's just little plays here and there. It's not like they're the season went totally downhill. Trevor Harris got hurt, and the season did not go downhill. I think that speaks a lot about this team when Shea Pedersen came in. So I can't pinpoint what went wrong 6 games ago, but you can look at each game and figure out why they lost by just looking at a play or two.
I got a lot of Habs fan friends, and I would count you as one of those. I was with one last night at a Stanley Cup party here in Fort Lauderdale. Cole Caulfield in the news this week, switching his jersey number to 13 to honor Johnny Gaudreau. That is the biggest story in hockey over the past week, the tragedy there. But I've got the Habs picked I think I had them last in the Atlantic Division. Am I way off mark with that or not?
I think they'll surprise a few. I wouldn't be putting them in the top three, but I think they're going to be better than they were last year. I think Line A obviously helps their offensive production. I think they have some really, really good, strong, young defensemen. They were obviously able to trade some away because they have a surplus of young defensemen. If they can figure out their goaltending situation and get some, that's really the only issue for me right now is do they have a number one elite goaltender that's going to grow with them through this young phase that they have through this sort of rebuild. We're into year, I don't know what it is, 3 or 4 now of the rebuild. So I think they're going to be continuing to trend upwards. Whether or not they make the playoffs this year, I wouldn't put money on that, but I think they're going to surprise a few and continue to trend in the right direction with all the young talent that they have.
So obviously thumbs up on the Line A deal for you. No issues there?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Like I said, they had a surplus of defensemen, so they didn't give up a whole lot to get him, and why not take a chance on him if he can find a home there? I haven't I'm not the biggest fan of his, even going back to Winnipeg. I don't think he's really. I don't know what his exact salary is. I don't think he's worth that, but if they can take a chance on him and he can put up 30 goals, then it's going to pay off for them. So we'll see. I'll be rooting for him this year.
Training camp's opening in about a week's time. Taylor, thanks for the update. Enjoy the football, man. As always, appreciate the time.
Anytime. Thanks for the chat.